Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Sunday night. It's not quite 9 o'clock yet. We are a little bit early because we need to whiz through quite a lot, and we'll be going on your comments as well. A little special guest tonight. Got the Droity Devil. He's not been on for quite a while. I just want to apologise very quickly. I did my after-match reaction on the Chelsea thing and blew a few people away with my comments when I got quite frustrated by people saying it's not we played well and it's acceptable to get a draw at Chelsea. I totally disagree with that, but maybe I overreacted. But I tell you what, we're the only channel that go live straight after the final whistle, and sometimes it is obviously off the cuff. But I am far more relaxed now. I've had a nice hot bath, a bit of Radox and a peppermint tea, and I am far better. But first of all, let's go to the Draughty and get what his thoughts were on the game today. I think fourth place is gone, mate.
Fourth place is definitely gone. I mean, think about it. Leicester 6 points clear of Man City, and we're 6 points behind Man City. So it's definitely gone. The trouble is with us at the moment, we get the lead and then we just invite teams onto us, and that is our problem. We cannot see games out. You know, Martial was a brilliant, he's just amazing. He is our shining light at the moment. For me, it's just frustrating at the moment that we have a good game and then we go back to kind of, we're just not there. It's just really disappointing. I can't really add too much because it's just the same old, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I do know what you mean. And some people were saying, there's a lot going on that I disagree with, which is it's really difficult. And I'm going to be very level-headed about this tonight because I lost it. Carrick fan says we were excellent today. We should have closed the game out. I totally disagree with you, Carrick fan. I thought we weren't excellent. I thought we played quite well against the poor Chelsea team. I'm sure Draughty will disagree with me as well. But we didn't create hardly anything in the box. Lingard's goal was a good goal. We had a few shots from distance. Chelsea had the better chances in the box, and De Gea was our man of the match. And that says everything to me. And I think you're getting sucked into the Louis van Gaal way here. This is 19 months of this, and he does this a lot. We'll have a few good games where we play nice football. We don't finish games off, and especially away from home, we get 1-0 up, and we're all over Chelsea, and then we defend, and we invite them on. And Chelsea got what they deserved. They got a goal. They had a lot of chances in the box, like I said. And yes, Blind slipped. And yes, I thought it was offside, but under the new rules, it's not offside. But it just makes me laugh that people say it's not Van Gaal's fault we lost today. I don't blame Memphis. Darmian was superb today, and I said this in August. Darmian was superb in August, great on the tour. He's going to be a fantastic right back. And then he turned to absolute rubbish for months because his confidence was knocked by the manager. The same thing is happening now to Schneiderlin and Memphis. And he did this to Pereira. Pereira played in a League Cup game, played really well. And then he threw him on in the last 10 minutes against Wolfsburg at home when Wolfsburg were all over us. And Pereira couldn't get in the game because it's very hard as a footballer to come on in the last 10 minutes of a game when you're not on the front foot and you're defending. As an attacking player, it's very, very difficult to come into that cold, especially when your confidence is knocked. Pereira was thrown into that, never had a look in again. Memphis was thrown into that today, and everyone's jumping on his back. It's not his fault. He's being treated like crap by Van Gaal. If it was just Memphis, I might say, well, maybe it is Memphis's attitude, Draughty. But he does this to everybody. He's done it to Schneiderlin. He's consistently done it to Herrera. He's done it to Mata. He's done it to Darmian. And I totally blame Louis van Gaal today for two reasons. I think he threw the wrong players on, and they're cold, and their confidence is gone. And secondly, as he always does, we sat back and invited Chelsea on. And he doesn't understand in the Premier League, whether it's Chelsea, Leicester, Bournemouth, Sunderland, if you're 1-0 up and you sit back for the last 20 minutes like he does, the likelihood is you're going to concede.
I seriously, Fellaini must have something on LVG. He must have some serious dirt, either a porno or I don't know. It's just his team selection is constantly Fellaini and Lingard.
Well, Fellaini had a good game, apparently. A lot of people are saying...
I don't care, though.
Well, he didn't, anyway. But
but I really don't care if he had a good game, because that's one in, 1,000. I mean, how many good games have you seen Fellaini play this season? Be honest.
Stoke. And I'm convinced that was Giggs with a wig on.
Yeah, well, I saw Alex with a wig on last night as well, so it could have been Alex for all I know. He probably would have played better than Fellaini. Yeah. But, he consistently puts on Fellaini. And Lingard now, that's an interesting one. Everyone says he's a wonder kid. Can you be a wonder kid at 23? I don't think you can, because if you think about it, Ronaldo was winning the Ballon d'Or at 23 years old and was banging in goals for fun, and Lingard's only just broken into the team. I don't see what he does. He's very, very negative with his passing. He has no end product. Yes, he does score important goals, but that's it. Darren Bent scored loads of goals, and he's not a really good Premier League player. So LVG really does baffle me. He destroys players' confidence, and I don't think he's the manager Manchester United need or deserve. I think we deserve better.
We'll be touching on Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho in a moment. Chris McTighe says, be careful. Fellaini had a great game, according to some. He was average at best. I thought he played well against Stoke. What I'd say about Stoke is what I said on Tuesday night. They're rubbish. They got thrashed. They've lost 3 games in a go, 3-0. I don't think you can learn anything from beating Stoke 3-0. We should have beaten Chelsea today. And where Fellaini played well, I'm baffled by this. If John Terry could finish, he would have scored just on half-time because Fellaini couldn't be bothered to clear it. Matic, every time he felt like having a little jog, just ran past him like he was a piece of paper. And I thought he was absolutely poor. Robbie says Fellaini was actually good today. Shut up, you. See you next Tuesdays. Robbie, you'll be banned. We don't put up with that sort of language, you scouser. Fellaini, a lot of people for and against him. I tell you what, I play football. I've done my badges. And I'm telling you now, Fellaini is not a Manchester United player. And if you're defending him today because you want to use Schneiderlin as a scapegoat, Fellaini was bang rubbish today, actually. I'm not even going to say average. He was rubbish. Just because he actually managed to play a forward past 5 yards or put his foot in and do what he's meant to do. This is what I get frustrated about, is what Manchester United fans accept as being good enough. We should be at the top of the table for the money we've got and the status we've got. And we're not getting 4th place. And for anybody who thinks that, I'm amazed that you think that's going to happen, but there you go. But I'm just touching on Draughty there. I mean, Lingard scored a good goal, and he has got quite a good goals to games ratio. I think it's 4 in 9. But today, I think he had 32 passes, of which 29 were backwards. He had his same typical crossing, over hitting it. If he hadn't scored, he would have been, everybody on here tonight would be going, he's absolutely rubbish, what does he do? Which I tweeted about half an hour before he scored. I'm glad he scored, I was ecstatic. But then you get people coming on, oh, you don't know anything about football because Lingard scored. There's more to life than scoring a goal. And if you don't score a goal that wins a game, scoring a goal doesn't actually matter much anyway. But I'll come back to you on that, Draughty. You were talking about Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. What are your thoughts on this? Because I think a lot of people are actually saying we're playing quite good now and Louis van Gaal should stay.
Oh, I don't think I agree with that one. I don't think 2 games makes up for a crap season so far. I'm sorry. He'd have to go for like another good 2 months of decent results, and United being there or thereabouts for 4th to, swing my opinion on him. Right now, I think with Guardiola coming in, it forces our hand. I think we have to go for Jose Mourinho. I don't think there's any way we can't, because if you think about it, if we stick with Louis van Gaal for next season while Guardiola is building some kind of killer team for Man City, we're going to fall even further behind. It has to happen this summer. And for me, Jose Mourinho is the only man with the bollocks big enough to come into Manchester United and make that difference. I don't think there's any other manager, because Ancelotti's gone off to Bayern Munich, who can come in and take on a club of the stature of Manchester United and build it up to what it needs to be again. He's going to have to make some changes, though. Mourinho is not the manager that Manchester United, usually go for. He would have to make some serious changes to the way he does things. And he'd have to invest in youth. He'd have to be less contentious with the way he acts on the sidelines sometimes. Because if he does act like he did with Chelsea this season, he will be out quicker than he came in.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a fantastic comment on here. I've just saved it. Come on United is the username. Too little, too late from Van Gaal. We've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, and I think people are falling into this trap. Oh, we're playing quite well. It's too little, too late. It's Norwich at home where we've lost this. It's gone. You don't understand that we need a win ratio of about 80%. Even the title winners won't have that between now and the end of the season. It's gone. It's too little, too late. Even if we go and destroy Sunderland 22-0 with tiki-taka football and Fellaini scores 10 of the goals, it's too late. The damage is done. He's got to go. Lingard's not consistent, says Tox. I'd agree with that. He is consistent, I would say, the wrong way. Lingard is doing well. Why are you hating on him, says Stephen Bell. Stephen, there's an encyclopedia on football tactics and playing the game that's not all about goals. You might want to have a little read about that. Even with 4th, not good enough with £200 million spent. Totally agree with that comment. Harry Harrison, Van Gaal is probably too naive to acknowledge Pep. Lingard is better than Memphis, and Lingard isn't great. That's saying something, says Lansdale 1. I pretty much agree with that. I think Memphis is dreadful at the moment, but I think a lot of it's down to lack of confidence. Blank or Simeone would be a huge lottery, says JFL. Mark, do you believe Jose will come in the summer? Chances out of 10. I think he wants to come, and I think he should come. I think I'd take him tomorrow. I think we are not going to be in the Champions League in the summer, so whether Jose Mourinho fancies that or not, I think he probably will do, because Manchester United are the biggest club in the world, and to bring them back from the brink must be, it's your dream job on FIFA, so it must be a brilliant thing to do in real life. A few people saying why he's so grumpy at the moment. To be honest, I think things are getting on top of me a bit at the moment today, because this result, maybe in other years, a draw at Chelsea wouldn't be too bad. But the fact is that was a poor Chelsea side, and we needed to win. A draw's like a loss. Draws mean nothing. They mean zero at the moment. We've got to win. And I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated with the board. I'm frustrated with the manager. And a few fans are frustrating me at the moment, because it's like they are accepting this, saying, well, we're getting better. This man's been here for 19 months. And it's the same rubbish. You get bought, I wasn't bought into that Stoke result on Tuesday. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, give him a chance. He's going to go all out attack now. We didn't go all out attack today. We started passing the ball forward, which was nice. But we didn't create anything in the box at all, apart from that header Fellaini should have scored that he shouldered when he was fouling the defender. There was no chance. I mean, I'll come to you, Drawty. Some people saying Rooney's crap and he's hiding behind these goals he's scored. You know what? I'd give Rooney a bit of time off and say he's not getting any service in the box.
To be honest, I know we've bashed Rooney sometimes. I think he's doing an all right job at the moment. I think he's coming back to a level which is acceptable. Not stellar, but definitely acceptable. His goals they've been world class at times. Some of his finishing has been brilliant, but we just do not have the delivery on the wings that we used to. Lingard is not giving that at all. Martial, I actually think Martial's more effective as a winger than he is a number 9. But at the moment, Martial's delivery isn't there because he ends up cutting in and being more direct. He's not the kind of winger who's going to bomb balls into the box, if you know what I mean. So he doesn't work with Rooney on that level. He's a brilliant player by himself, but the two of them kind of don't work in that winger combination with Rooney in the middle. I don't know how you can play those two in the same team if you're playing Rooney up top, because Martial can't come in from behind him. So then you play Martial up top with Rooney behind, and that doesn't work because we've seen that happen this season. Maybe we should go to 4-4-2 with the two of them up top. We haven't tried that yet. Van Gaal seems very intent on just trying the one striker up front. So I think in the summer it's going to be interesting. We need to get in a striker, but what do we do with Rooney? Yes, he is playing very well at the moment. I cannot fault him, and his goals have been very important to us. We can't put him down for that. It's just how we move on from here, and can he sustain that until the end of the season?
Yeah, I agree. I think Neil Graham just said it there. Rooney has improved. I think the most interesting thing about the game from Rooney today was he had no service in the box at all. And I keep going back to it. Chelsea had at least 4 I can remember in the box. And De Gea made good saves or it hit Blind on the arm. But Rooney had a chance, I think it was the second half, shot from distance outside of the box. Quartes didn't hold it. And then that's where you wish you had 2 Rooneys, because he would have been following in. But Rooney's having to come deep again to take the shot. And where's that number 9? He can't be in 2 positions at once. I thought Mata, for playing against his ex-club, not good enough. I know people said he was okay. He's not good enough. He's the number 10. He's the man who's got to find Rooney. He's the man who's got to put the midfielders in and the wide men in. Not good enough. Not good enough at number 10 at all. We miss a number 10. So my answer would be put Rooney back there, because he obviously doesn't like Herrera, and I don't think Mata offers enough there. I know people love Mata. I love Mata. He does a blog. He's a fantastic. He feeds orphans. He takes in sick kittens, but on a football pitch in a Manchester United shirt, he doesn't do enough for me. And we definitely do need a striker. I would agree with that. Darkhan's talking about this director of football. I think that's for the summer. I think it's well needed. I think Woodward is a farce when it comes to his football knowledge. And alongside Jose Mourinho, it'd be great. But then the saddest thing of all is that we've wasted 3 years. If we end up not in the Champions League again this year, having to get a new manager, having to rebuild again, we may as well have just all gone to sleep for the last 3 years, because what's happened? Absolutely nothing happened at all, has it? So, yeah, it really is very, very disappointing. I am frustrated by it, and I think a lot of it is. Gerv HD says, I disagree. Mata was calling the shots today. Lasky, well, if he was calling the shots, mate, where was the chances in the box? His job as a number 10 is to create. He didn't create anything today. So, I love people disagreeing, and I love that. But I don't agree with that. I don't know what your thoughts on Mata were, Drawty, in the number 10 situation.
I don't think Matt has ever done anything in a Manchester United shirt apart from a few fleeting occasions where I think he's actually done brilliantly well. I think for his, his price tag, I don't think he's done enough for us. And in the number 10 role, where he excelled at Chelsea, he's never done that for us. He's never reproduced that form. He's not been scintillating. We haven't seen many of his free kicks that he used to do for Chelsea either. And the problem is, if you have Martial at top with Rooney in the number 10 position, Mata can't sit there. If Mata is in the team, it almost doesn't work. It's like you can't really play Mata, Rooney, and Martial in the same team because one of them is going to play out of position. And if I had to drop one of them, it would be Mata.
I think the from somebody watches football, I think a lot of the viewers here have picked up on this as well. It's no surprise that we started playing a lot better since Carrick's come into the team, because Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin and Fellaini and Herrera to some extent, although not really Herrera, they're master of the sideway pass. Carrick, when you look at him, he's always looking to play the forward pass, and he plays it accurately and quickly, and that he finds people like Mata and Martial and Rooney in space, and we're going forward. We're definitely going forward. So Carrick's been a big difference, but also I think Borthwick Jackson deserves a shout out. I think today was his hardest game he's ever played. He's only just turned 19. Matt Willian was Chelsea's best player by a long, long way, and he did skin him a couple of times. But I think for a 19-year-old, he's only in his third or fourth game. That's fine. But he recovered. He did well. It wasn't his fault, the offside at all, because his man's Ivanovic, and Ivanovic was offside. So some rubbish new rule. So he was good. Darmian's playing superb. So we're actually getting a bit like we were at the start of the season, with two fullbacks who are bombing on and defending well, and Carrick building up from the back. And Carrick's always been a massive, massive player. And that's the improvement. We've started passing better forward from the defensive midfield side of things. Fortunately, if you watch Lingard, 9 times out of 10 he passes it back. Mata passes it sideways or back. Only Martial wants to go forward. And then Rooney is stuck up there, not getting the ball. That is the problem we're having now. But Memphis is woefully out of form because of confidence. Pereira may as well just, doesn't exist. And Januzaj came back because he was rubbish in Dortmund. And we didn't buy anybody in the summer. So, Mourinho, a lot of people are talking about it there for the summer, and I hope it is going to happen. Whether we're going to, do you think we will announce it if it's going to happen, Drawty, before the summer? It seems like there's so much in the press. It seems like we might, but surely that would undermine. Van Gaal's so arrogant. I think he'd walk.
I think he would walk, and to be fair to Van Gaal, I think if we were talking behind his back, then it's unfortunately to say, it would be pretty disrespectful towards the manager, regardless of the results. I think Man City had an open conversation with Guardiola, with Pellegrini. He kind of knew what was going on. But if United are going behind Van Gaal's back, I don't really agree with that, regardless of what's been going on. But I think the club will stick with him until fourth is mathematically impossible. I think we're going the same way with Moyes again. I think there's a clause in his contract somewhere that says if we don't get fourth, we don't have to pay him the 10 million bonus. So I think that's what Woodward's hanging on for. Let's be fair, fourth has gone. So there's no point sacking him now and getting in someone else, because then if Mourinho did come in right now and things didn't really improve that much because he hasn't got the team he wants around him, it looks bad on Mourinho. I think Mourinho would rather come in with a fresh set of eyes, a brand new transfer budget, and hit it hard for next season. So no, we're not going to get a new manager this season.
No, and I think I agree with you on that point. I think it'd be unfair on Mourinho with no transfer market to sort of come into a side that's on its knees, basically, and has got a very slim chance of getting there. He might fancy it, but what if it goes wrong? It reflects badly on him, whereas he can come in the summer, whatever damage is done, and start again. I just wanted to touch on, I'm just looking through Twitter there while we're doing this, and I think Alex is here in spirit, because I can't leave my nose alone, and I never normally do that. But I tweeted out about 3 hours ago, United were unlucky, but Van Gaal chose to sit back for the last 20 minutes. When you try to hang on, sometimes you fall. At Dwells at the Crag says you are clueless. Louis van Gaal isn't out there kicking the ball. The players choose to sit back. You should be deleted. This was, I wouldn't say it was a majority, but it was quite a lot of this. And I think this is where I wonder about people who were saying it's not Van Gaal's fault, it's the players' fault. Van Gaal picks the players. Van Gaal dictates the tactics. Van Gaal makes the substitutions. And Van Gaal dictates the way we approach a game. If you don't accept any of those, you do not understand football. If you're trying to say the last 20 minutes is the players decided to, stop playing and go back 10 yards and invite Chelsea on. No, that's not what happens in football. What happens is your manager says, go back 10 yards, defend your lead. And he does it every single time we're away from home and we go 1-0 up for the last 19 months. And that's why we lost. Well, I call it a loss because we needed 3 points. We needed 3 points today just to stay where we were 2 games ago. So 2 games ago, everybody was Louis van Gaal out. 2 games on, even if we'd won today, we'd still be in the same points deficit that we were 2 games ago. But suddenly people think, we've actually started passing forward. Let's be Louis van Gaal in. Baffling, absolutely baffling. I'm 100% Louis van Gaal out. I'm 100% Jose Mourinho in. And I'm 100% Fellaini out. And I'm 100% Schneiderlin or Herrera in. And nothing has changed for the last 19 months, to be honest. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. People say, you're using Fellaini as a scapegoat. It's not a scapegoat when I've said I don't like him and he's not a very good player for the last 18 months. So I think it makes me laugh, really, Drawty, because 99% of fans 2 weeks ago were Louis van Gaal out, and then suddenly you get these people who are Louis van Gaal in again. But there is no, I suppose I'm throwing you a very easy question, but there is surely no way back.
Oh, if he does come back, he'd be the tale of Jesus all over again. He'd literally have to walk on water and deliver the FA Cup or the Europa League for us to believe in Van Gaal again. I think if he wants to redeem himself, he has to win a trophy now. We have to go all out in the FA Cup and we have to go out for the Europa League. I don't think there's any other option. Based on the football we've been witnessing for the last 18 months, and especially this season, I don't think there is a way back. He's already lost the fans. But the thing is, there's so many fickle people out there. There's many fans who just ride on the wave of emotion at the time. They don't think about everything else. They just go, we've won a game. So therefore, the manager, he must be doing brilliantly well. LVG in. Then we lose a game and it's LVG out again. Seriously, if you got an opinion, stick to it. You can't keep coming in and out. It's like a game of do-si-do. In, out, shake it all about. It's just like, people change their minds so much, and it's just mind-boggling how you can go from one extreme to the other. The thing is, one result does not define a season, and one result does not define an opinion. So for me, I'm still LVG out. If we win the FA Cup and the Europa League, then I will hold my hands up and say, maybe the guy does know what he's doing. But for now, no.
You know what? Jake Pert says we would have been 4 points behind fourth if we won. City and Arsenal we're not going to finish above them. So, but we would have made a point. So we're now 6 points or 7. But I think actually we might win the FA Cup, but it means nothing because it doesn't get us in the Champions League. And if it keeps him in a job, it's a farce. I think we might win the Europa League only because of the fans, because I think we are playing better football. We have got a good squad. It's not league dependent, obviously, and the Old Trafford, you've played 2 legs. If the Old Trafford crowd is like it has been in the last game against Stoke, that might be the extra buzz we need. There's a couple of teams in there that could cause us problem, Spurs and Dortmund, but you know what? They could knock themselves out. Who knows? We could win the Europa League, and then we could get in the Champions League. I think that's the best bet we've got now. And if he does that, I still want him sacked. I still think it's absolutely unforgivable, the league position, to be as far off as we are from 4th place or the top with the time he's had and the money he's spent. It's his 2nd season, nearly over, and we're miles off. And I think you should be judged on league form. But I hope.
Mark,
go on.
Can I just ask you something? If this season hadn't gone the way it's been gone, because obviously Leicester, no one thought that was going to happen. We didn't think Leicester were ever going to be anywhere near the top. I don't think anyone put a bet on it. Man City keep losing games. They've lost 6 already now. No team has ever won the league with 6 or more losses. Arsenal have lost 5, and now Tottenham have suddenly come up to 2nd. Do you think Van Gaal is actually lucky And I mean, lucky in terms of the fact that everyone has lost games around him. So United are actually closer than they would be. I think it's a false league position.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do agree with that. And it is funny because if Leicester had just been average, then we would be in fourth place, wouldn't we? But there's a comment here I just want to talk very, very quickly about. Harry Lawler says, if you and it sort of fits in with what I wanted to say anyway. Harry Lawler, if you're United fans, start supporting the team. That's what supporters are. Totally I respect Harry for putting that up there. Totally disagree with it because it was something I'd noted down that I wanted to say. This support your team, win, lose or draw. I think it's total nonsense because you are allowing the likes of Woodward, Van Gaal to dictate to you that it's acceptable that Manchester United are playing like this in the position they're in. As a supporter, it's not about supporting the team. It's about demanding more from the team when it's underperforming, in my book. And also, I'm not one of these fans who say, oh, if you don't go to games, you're not a real fan at all. But what I would say is that I used to go to a lot of games a few years ago up until I started doing this. And this might surprise quite a few of you that when Ryan Giggs was playing, especially around his late 20s, early 30s, he wasn't this genius. He'd have a few good games, but he would, he'd go off the boil quite a lot. And people who used to go to United at that time would back me up on this. And he used to get quite a lot of stick quite regularly from the Old Trafford faithful. Now, to a lot of people, I accept that would sound foreign, that Ryan Giggs used to get booed and shouted at by the Old Trafford faithful. But if you actually go to games regularly, it's very different to this situation. It is very different. And when you're at a ground, players do get stick from the fans, and they always have done. The 80s were terrible. And that's what it is. So you're going to tell me that 60,000 fans who would get on the back of someone like Ryan Giggs, they're not real fans. It's all right to be critical if you believe in it. And I believe in it at the moment. I believe that it's not acceptable the way the club's being run and the manager who's managing it and the positions he picks and some of the players he picks. So I don't disagree. I disagree with you there, Harry, about that. I think, if you blindly support somebody, you end up like Arsenal, where the money's being drained out and they never sign anybody. But that's my 2 pence piece. I don't know what yours draws to you.
What you mean, support the club no matter what, or support the team? I think the two are very, very different. Always support your club.
Yeah.
But the team on the pitch, I think it's difficult. If you're there watching your team, you want them to win. I don't ever think you should think the club should lose or the team should lose. I think if you get into the mentality of I want this team to lose so that the manager's sacked, no, I don't agree with that at all. I think some people on Twitter or other social media outlets have been saying, I really want United to lose today so that Van Gaal will be sacked. The thing is, okay, and here's the hard thing to get your head round, is you want your team to succeed and you want them to win. If we were winning, then it means the manager's doing their job. The only reason we want him out is because we are losing, and that is his fault. And I know it's a weird concept to think, but really you should always want your team to succeed and win. But if it's not, then it's clearly an issue. You shouldn't, though, want your team to lose. That's fucked up. It doesn't make sense. And I just don't agree with that at all. I will always support the club. I will always support the team, but I don't support the decisions of the board, and I don't support the decisions of the manager, which are making the team lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that, if you haven't watched my live match reaction, do go and watch it after this, because we're a little bit of a shorter show tonight. And it's about 4 or 5 minutes in before I really start to lose it for 5 minutes. And I'll have to watch it back myself. But basically, that was frustration. That was frustration because I wanted to win that game today because I support Manchester United and I always want us to win. Now, I agree what Droid says there. I don't want Van Gaal to be our manager. I don't like him. I think he's stubborn, and I think he's poisoning the club, as is Woodward. But I can't be in that situation where I don't want us to win, and that is why I was so frustrated today that people were coming on going, "It's a good point. Fellaini was good. This, that, and the other." Don't give me that rubbish. Don't give me that rubbish. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We have to win games now. And he could have gone out for a win. You know what? He could have gone for a win in that game. He could have gone for a win, and he sat back to try and hold on to a win. And against Chelsea, doesn't matter how bad they are, they're going to get chances, and they took the chance. And De Gea didn't deserve that, but you know what. Anyway, we will call it a day there because I have got to shoot off. That's why we started early. But I think you've still had us for a good half an hour. So thanks for coming on, Drawty.
Thanks for having me on.
Brilliant to have you back. Only doing the draw, Red Rumours, which is on tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. We've got a Red Rumours that will continue. It's a good one tomorrow. Got a special guest appearance from Michelle Keegan. Fantastic. So keep an eye out for that. But enjoyed that. A little bit more relaxed. Go and watch the live match reaction. Please do drop us a like or subscribe if you're new to the United Stand. But a like would be nice. Especially after all the dislikes I got on my video. But yeah, loved it, and really good to get involved with the live comment box, which we haven't been doing for a few weeks, and I do enjoy that. So lots of good comments on there. And we'll be back next Sunday at 9 o'clock, and obviously our next game is Sunderland. Red Rumours tomorrow night, and previews later in the week. Thanks everybody for watching. Tis the United Stand. Subscribe, get involved, and also, I haven't said this for a while, spread the word. Let other United fans know, because we want more of you involved on the comment box. That'd be great. Thanks for coming on, Drawty, and speak to you all very soon. One love, Man United, as Stuart Marson says. And we are all united in that, whether we get frustrated or not. The frustration comes from the passion. Thanks for watching.